Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. We're just going to be looking at Thunderf00t and then on what he has to say about Islam and then relate it to the Boston bombings. Thank you.
Observation 1. Civilization is a monument to science. It influences every aspect of your life. Indeed, it's the causal agent that has on average tripled your life expectancy. Observation 2. That knowledge is gained by scientists performing research and publishing their work for other scientists to scrutinize. Publication is the kiss of death to the very wellspring which made modern civilization flourish. Indeed, to the very wellspring that has, on average, tripled your life expectancy. Given such data, it seems clear that Islam, as is currently practiced, is detrimental to modern civilization. Obviously, the world will be a better place in 50 years if this anti-science attribute of the religion is either diminished or the number of people practicing the religion is diminished. The question is, what do you think is the best way to effect such a goal? It's a genuine question. You see, I deem this to be one of the more important videos that I've made. For in it I will demonstrate that I have more power in my little finger than the Islamic god Allah. But let's make this more exciting. Let's go for not just the Islamic god Allah, but his prophet Muhammad and 1 billion Muslims all joined in prayer with him. The test is simple. Who can move the most balls in the shortest amount of time? My little finger, or Allah, Mighty Mo, and 1 billion Muslims all joined in prayer? Now wait, I hear you say, that's not fair, because you made this video before anyone knew about it. Not a problem. You see, any god worth his salt could just as easily do things in the past as in the present. So what I want every Muslim to do is to watch this video and then go and pray to Allah and watch it again and keep praying to Allah and re-watching the video until your prayers to Allah ensure a different outcome. What's wrong? Don't you believe in the power of prayer? You should do. You do enough of it. Why the sudden lack of confidence in the all-powerful nature of your God? So here goes. On the left we have my little finger, and on the right we have Allah, 1 billion Muslims joined in prayer, and the Prophet Muhammad. So here goes. Oh, that's 1-0 to my little finger. Let me guess, Allah wasn't ready and wants a... On the 20th of May 2010, we draw a line. That line will be thrown into harsh relief for the benefit of those who mistake the freedoms of a first world society for weakness. The line will be drawn defiantly, and it will be drawn deep, in homage of one of the oldest and most beloved pillars of our Western civilization. For even the most astutely reasoned argument has no value without the free exchange of ideas and information. And likewise, the most atrociously fallacious argument is a hazard, unless it can be subjected to open scrutiny. And thus it is that free speech is the very pith that defines us as an enlightened people. And it is that line that separates the enlightened world from the darkness that surrounds it. And those who stood in that light and have seen the boon that this concept can deliver realize that that line is non-negotiable. It really is that simple, non-negotiable. Now, there's a bunch of cowards out there from a religion, Islam, a religion that's noteworthy in that it fields maybe 90% of the people in the world who are willing to kill civilians who merely disagree with their religion. Frustrated or destroyed. Personally, I don't care about Islam. I really don't care what you do behind closed doors, as long as it doesn't scare the horses. But I do care about defending free speech, and to have Islam dictate from a single Muslim to an institutional dogma that they have the right to kill people who exercise their freedom of speech is an unacceptable declaration of war on the enlightened essence of Western civilization. And I will not yield, not one iota, to the fundamentalist who states that their arbitrary religious preferences can dictate to me and to every other free person on the planet what they can and cannot say. On the 20th of May 2010, those willing to rally in defence of free speech, those with the vision to play the long game, those with the moral fortitude to realise that the essence of free speech must be defended zealously, for it is the wellspring from which all of our other freedoms flow. We draw a line. We give our non-negotiable and defiant reply to those who think that their tyrannical religion has the authority to dictate, on a theological whim, what you are and are not allowed to say.
Okay, so that was Thunderf00t. What I want to say about Thunderf00t is he's a PR disaster for atheism. Yeah, we know that radical Islam is a problem to free speech and Western democracy. We know that. Nobody has to be told that. But there's ways and means of dealing with radicalisation. Okay, who are getting radicalised? It's the young people. So how are we going to get Muslim young people away from radicalisation? And the way to do that is to show that the radicals, what they are saying, is wrong. Now the radicals are saying that the West is just desecrating the Prophet Muhammad. The West is desecrating the religion of Islam. So if the West engages Muslim youths and encourages them into more political dialogue, encourages them into more inclusive discussions and community activities and community projects where Christians, Muslims, Jews and atheists work together, then that will take Muslim youth away from radicalisation. And if we, on top of that, show in the political sphere and in the media and on the blog sphere respect to Islam, then we will not be pushing people into radicalisation. And so the drawing of Muhammad is the most insulting thing that you could ever do to a Muslim. And free speech means responsibility, and this is one of the things Thunderf00t says, that free speech is the defence of a democracy. It is, it really is. But his understanding of free speech has not got the classical model within free speech. You see, the classical model of free speech is with responsibility. And modern Democrats like Thunderf00t have forgotten that free speech means responsibility as well. So if you're going to critique Islam, you have to be responsible. And it is not being responsible by drawing pictures of Muhammad or burning the Quran, which Thunderf00t has done. He burnt a CD full of Qurans, which is just as insulting for a Muslim as burning a real Quran. That is not being responsible, that is being irresponsible. And it's a misguided way of using your free speech. There's a way of using free speech that is constructive or destructive. And Thunderf00t's use of free speech is destructive. It is so insulting to a Muslim that it backfires and produces the negative rather than the positive effect. That is what I think. And I think the Boston bombings, these are radical, these young people were radicalized, became radicalized jihadists. That's what I think. And I think part of the problem is the kind of rhetoric that Thunderf00t has been doing over the last few years, where it will make people like those Muslim youths who did this Boston bombing, it will make them to go over to the radicalized Muslim leaders, the Muslim jihadists. And until we start to bring people in from the Muslims, from the Christians, from the atheists, from the Jews, from the Buddhists, until we bring everybody together and encourage everybody and show respect to everybody, then I'm afraid we're going to see more political upheaval. And I believe that Thunderfoot's brand of atheism, this militant atheism, is one of the most potent, destructive forces in Western democracy today. I really, really do. And there should be, and I keep telling you this as political leaders, but everybody keeps laughing at me, but there should be an urgent investigation into Thunderfoot and these militant atheists and their message, and a report done on the effects that it's having on Islamic radicalization of Muslim youth. And I think that you will find that Muslim youths are being made to feel alienated by this kind of rhetoric. And we need to get back to a more classical model of democracy. Read John Stuart Mill on liberty, where we bring people in rather than push them out. Where we make Muslim youths, Jewish youths, atheist youths, Buddhist youths, Jewish youths, when we make all these young people feel included in our democratic process, then the power of radicalization will be emasculated. Thank you for listening.